Welcome to the Seller Roundtable e-commerce coaching and business strategies with Andy Arnott and Amy Wees.
Yeah, so I think that's it on that one. Amy, anything you had to add or any questions on that?
I think that some people get overwhelmed when finding influencers, and something that's really important to remember when using sites like Thomason, like Andy mentioned, or FameBit is a really good one for YouTube.
Yep.
Shoutcart is a good one. There's a bunch of really great influencer websites and ways to find influencers. But remember, don't forget to do, just like you do your due diligence if you're hiring a shipping company or
Absolutely.
you're hiring anyone to work with your business, do your due diligence and make sure that go and check them out on Instagram. Go and look at their YouTube channel. Are they just posting a whole bunch of products? Are they just trying to make money and maybe all of their followers are fake followers and they are not engaging followers? The last thing we would want you to do is spend $500 hiring an influencer with 200,000 fake followers that doesn't get any engagement. So what you want to do is you want to look up their alias on Instagram, look them up on YouTube, look up their blog and see what kind of things that they are posting, and then see what the reactions are. Do they get a bunch of likes when they post something? Are people commenting a bunch? What is the engagement level? So make sure also that the things that they're posting would be well represented, that your brand would kind of fit into that, right? Your products would fit into that. So due diligence is really important so that it pays off. Also, if they're a blogger, make sure that their writing doesn't suck because if it may just be that, they look at other product posts that they've done and see what their engagement levels are. And then the last tip that I have for you is don't be afraid to go after micro influencers. So if your brand is just getting started and maybe you don't have, $1,000 to spend on influencers from different platforms, well, go out there and start looking in Facebook groups for, mommy Facebook groups, stuff like that. The hunters Facebook groups, the Reddit subreddits, all of that kind of stuff. Pinterest bloggers that have like lots of boards with lots of followers. Don't be afraid to message them and say, you know what, I would love to send you my product. I love your channel. I love your blog, and see if you can develop a relationship with a micro influencer, somebody who has a lot of engagement, but not a million followers, right? And they'd probably be very excited to have that opportunity to do that and grow their own following as well. So don't be afraid to check that stuff out. But Andy, when should they get started with this stuff?
ASAP, because it takes a while for that ball to start rolling. So you want to start looking for people right now. And Amy, you made some great points. Yeah, you definitely want to look at their profiles, see what they're doing, make sure they're not bots or fake and all that good stuff. And there was another point that I wanted to make, but once again, I need to do a pad. I need to get like a pad and a pen while we're doing this so I can write it down. Yeah, so we're going to move on to the next tip, which is send your best customers holiday greetings. So like the old 80-20 rule. Go back through your order reports. If you use a tool like ShipStation, which I absolutely love, you can actually go through and filter in the reports and see what like your top 20 customers or 100 or however you want to do it. Siphon them off. And, especially if you have a new product or something for the holidays, send them that, it could be there's companies that do like automated postcards for you. If you have the time, handwritten postcards, of course, are like 10 times better because people are like, holy crap, this company, like somebody took the time to actually write me a card. It might get tossed in the trash, but, if your best customer who generally spends, a large amount of money, if even one of those convert, then, that's time well spent. So, definitely think about doing that. I'm trying to think if there's some automated ones that I can suggest here. I'm trying to think of the name. I think it's,
and Andy, when you say send them holiday greetings, are you talking about like greeting cards, postcards?
So like postcards, yeah. So you want to
snail
do
mail.
Yeah, snail mail, like real. Yeah, sorry, I probably should have been more clear. Yeah, so like, yeah, a postcard with, some holiday, like, Christmas tree on the front or something like that, and say like, hey, thanks so much for being a customer. We really appreciate your business. You can, to me, a soft sale in the postcard wouldn't be, the worst thing. Like, hey, we've got this new, clip-on water bottle that we thought you might love. If you want to, get it, here's 20% off. Go to whatever.
And hey, I just Googled holiday postcards distribution for businesses, and even MailChimp does this.
Mhm.
So cool.
Yep,
You
I
could
see that. Yeah.
probably make it pretty automated. You could design
Yep.
something cool,
Yep.
and then you can get somebody else to send it out for you, like cardsdirect.com,
Yep. Absolutely.
Cool.
Harsha, as far as I know, I mean, there's really, there's no, you have the address. It's part of doing business from Amazon. I've never ever heard of anyone getting in trouble for sending like hard mail to customers. So, yeah,
Yeah. So Harsha's question is it okay to mail anything to customers? And well, I mean,
it,
I
it's,
think it might be weird to mail just anything, but if you're just sending them a nice card, like
yeah,
it's not like they're going to get mad at you and report you to Amazon. They sent me a Christmas card.
right. Yeah. Yeah.
It's terrible.
Like I said, I mean, honestly, it could possibly, be against TOS. I know that phone numbers, you're not supposed to in emails, even though they hide the emails. But I've never heard of anybody having any issues with snail mail.
But Andy, aren't they soon going to remove customer address data from Amazon?
There's talk of it, but then you just, that's why you merchant fulfill. You have some
Yes.
merchant fulfilled stuff so that you can still get some of that data. Okay.
Cool.
All right. The next thing is bundle and target holiday shoppers. So, what you want to do is if you have a non-holiday product, for example, let's see here. Amy was talking about
Like
a pen earlier. Maybe like a pen with like a note.
That's what I did with my cat toys, Andy.
There you go.
Remember, I had those
Yeah.
terrible cat toys that I could not sell. I launched them and they must have been featured on Jungle Scout because there was a million other people that launched them at the same time. And I could not sell these stupid cat toys. So what did I do? I went on DHgate. I ordered a bunch of Christmas stockings. I put a cat design on them. I stuffed the cat toys in there. I shipped them off to Amazon and I sold 100 units. And I was mad because I sold 100 units by the end of October, beginning of November. And I was mad that I didn't send more in.
Yep.
So that's a great example of how you can bundle your product with a holiday product and sell it like mad cat toys.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, even if you have something like stale that's just sitting in your warehouse that you haven't sold, if there's any way that you can bundle that and make it for the holidays, then it's worth a try. Like Amy said, I mean, send 50 to start and see if they start burning through there. Then you're like, oh, okay, this could work, and then make sure you get it back online again. Like Amy said, though, if you don't plan. If you don't plan that out well enough, you could stock out, which is not the end of the world. When you really think about it, if you blow through a bunch of product and you're out of stock, yeah, it sucks. You wish you had more, but on the flip side, like you sold it, like fantastic, good stuff.
I was mad because I wasn't out of stock. I still had 2 cases of cat toys.
Oh, I thought you were. I thought you didn't
No,
have
I
any
was
more.
mad that I didn't
stockings.
send more in. Yes.
Ah,
I was
gotcha.
like, there's no way that I'm going to sell 100 of these things, but I'm just going to send them in and try.
Right.
And I actually got mad at my husband because he sent all of them in October. And I was like, there's no way that all of them are going to sell. And that was before I knew the stock rule, right? That in order to distribute them, you need to send enough in.
Yep.
And by almost the first week in November, they all sold out. And I was so mad.
Yep.
And then I didn't have time to get more, right?
Yep. So, and one thing, I'm glad you mentioned that, Amy. And another thing to do, which you see a ton of debate on this, but during the holiday season, I say absolutely continue to raise your prices if you're going to stock out, because it's a holiday keyword, or if it's a holiday product, like it's not like you're going to get more in January and try to sell it in January if it's a holiday themed product. So if you're selling through them like crazy, continue to raise those prices until the peak of the shopping season, which is usually around like December 16th, right around my birthday. Yeah. Which is always cold. And I always complain to Molly. I'm like, yeah, it's like the busiest time of year and cold outside. That's when my birthday is, like, fantastic. She's like, well, just do it in July. I'm like, yeah, that doesn't work. Anyway, okay. So anything else on bundling, Amy?
No,
I think we
I
covered
think
it.
it's so much fun to get creative. And I think people are always afraid of seasonal stuff. And this is when I say, Q4 is when I say, don't be afraid, go for it, because
Yep.
people have crazy Christmas spirit and they will buy the crap out of that stuff.
Yep, absolutely. All right, guys. So the next tip I'm going to give you is something that we kind of, had to figure out kind of trial by fire because we kept stocking out during Q4. And that's when we realized, like, okay, what we need to do is we need to, send enough to Amazon that we think we're going to sell through, but also have a backup stock, like maybe 10% of what we think we're going to need. And then we sit that stock in our warehouse and we merchant fulfill it. So there's a few reasons to do that. One is generally merchant fulfilled is higher margins. It depends on your shipping setup though. If you're sending really heavy stuff, it might not be better. You have to do the math on that. But if your merchant fulfilled stuff gives you better margins, then you of course want to do some merchant fulfilled stuff. The other great thing about doing merchant fulfilled and seller fulfilled prime is that you have a backup stock. You have, if all of a sudden somebody comes on, and we've had this happen before, orders like 100, 200, 5, just an insane amount, and all of a sudden you're like, holy crap, we didn't expect that. You now have, you keep, say you have 200 sitting in your warehouse, then you send out 100 to Amazon, but that listing stays alive because now you're merchant fulfilling that other 100 while the first 100 that you sent is going to Amazon. By the time that works out, it hits Amazon, it gets checked back into FBA. As soon as you run out in your warehouse, then the FBA takes back over. So that's something that you guys really want to think about doing, and what we do every year, because it really makes a huge difference in sales velocity. If you stock out in Q4, even if it's for a few weeks, it's going to really, really, really hurt you. Your sales velocity is just going to drop, and then your competitors will just crush you, because people like me have backup stock.
Yes. And you can seller fulfilled prime too through ShipStation, right?
Absolutely, you can. Yep.
Getting it out there, getting it done. I like it. I like it a lot.
Yep.
So, okay, merchant fulfill where you can. Make sure you have enough stock. Be aware that, if you're not doing all of these other things that we talked about and getting your PPC spun up now and all of that, and you send too much stock into Amazon, then you may end up paying really, really high storage fees because they're assessed every 30 days. So that's why we want to give you guys these tips so that you're getting on top of this and you are crushing it, right?
Yep.
So that you are selling out, and then you got backup supply and you're ready to go, and you're starting that now. So look at how do we, Andy, make sure that we have enough stock.
Okay, so one of the things that we do is we go in and we look at last year's data. If it's a product that you've had for a previous Q4, then that data is invaluable. Go back through there. Generally, at a minimum, we up the amount that we sold last year by 20%, and there's a few reasons for that. Number one, Amazon usually every year grows by like 20%. You can go and Google. We just did this. I can't remember what the numbers were last year, but I think it was close to 20%. So when we're planning for our holiday numbers, we go back and we search and see, like in 2018, what was Amazon's growth year over year, and then we add that to our stock. So if it's 20%, then we add that to our stock numbers. But we also pad that a little bit as well, because what we've noticed is, I think so Amazon, of course, has all these different algorithms for ranking, but what we've noticed is, I think there's a special algorithm for Q4, or some kind of like rank memory, because as we get closer to Q4, our products in previous years that have done well automatically start climbing up the charts. It's really, really interesting. So because of that, and not only that, but because we've gotten really, really good at targeting holiday keywords and getting on page one for like some of the best stuff, we know that we're just going to kill it, because we know that 20%, at least our sales are going to be up at least 20%. So we add that in. So that's a really good way to look at previous year's data and engage from that. Now, that being said, if your product has continuously grown, from the previous year, so in other words, like, say in Q4 last year you sold 500 widgets, but Q1 of 2019 you sold 700. You've already seen a growth over Q4, so you want to take the highest number that you've gotten to after that point. In other words, you don't ever want to use Q4 if those numbers were less than your better selling points further in the future. Did that make sense, Amy? Did I explain that correctly?
Yes, but Kevin brings up a good point.
Yep.
Make sure you keep an eye on your competition. So if you have a product that is not seasonal, right? It's not, your Christmas stockings or something like that. It's just a regular product that happens to sell a little bit more during Q4, but your competition has really increased and your overall sales have slowed down. And you go back and you look at 2018 and you go, well, I sold so much. And well, then you do want to take that into consideration. So if your overall sales are down by 20%, right, or 50% because of that, you will want to take that into consideration during the next season when you're restocking. And then also that goes along with, thinking about new trends, thinking about, introducing new products. Maybe you want to make sure that you're the leader, right, in that department. So if that particular product has started to get a lot of lookalike competition, it's been featured on Jungle Scout, right? Then what you want to do is make sure that you're the first to market with the new hotness, right? So maybe you start your Q4 off with a new version of that product that's the new model, and all the copycats that are going to come in are going to be like, sorry, we're not. So you want to stay ahead of them. And yeah, as Kevin says, it's a balancing act and an art. And he'd love to have Jungle Scout notifications before his products are featured. Wouldn't we all? And then Anna says, hey, can I send some by air and some by boat? And I said, you got to be really careful. You should have all of your stock in. If you're doing FBA, you should have all your stock in by the end of October, because if you send an LTL shipment to Amazon, or any kind of truckload shipment to Amazon in the middle of Q4, it will take several weeks to get checked in because it goes to the back of the line. The only way you can get around that is if you send in individual boxes, because those go to the front of the line, and there's so many people sending in individual boxes that their stuff gets checked in, and you will stock out. As Andy mentioned, you want to use that merchant fulfilled trick to fulfill in the midst of your next stuff getting checked in.
Yeah, and the other thing, like you said, Kevin, brought up a great point. The other cool tool to use is Keepa, of course, because what you can do is go back and look. So like that's the other thing we did. We said, okay, where was our rank, in September of 2018 compared to this year? Because that also will give you a good gauge on, like you said, Amy, if you're losing traction or gaining traction. This year we were gaining traction. So to me, that was another signal that says you should probably order more rather than less, because that's velocity going into Q4. So yeah, all those tips are going to give you guys a lot of help. All right, the next thing that we're going to talk about is running lightning deals and 7-day deals. A lot of people are afraid to do those because they're like, oh my God, it's $150. So just to give you guys context, like there's been some lightning deals, during some of the some of the big events like Prime Day, where we've on a single product sold $50,000 in one day. There's been times where in Q4 where we have a lightning deal that's not like Black Friday or not Cyber Monday or something like that, that have also sold like an insane amount. So the other thing that you want to realize, that a lot of people always try to get those like Cyber Monday deals and like, the Black Friday deals. But what you want to think about is that if you do some earlier lightning deals, in October, you're actually going to get some rank boost, which is going to carry your organic rank into November. So don't be afraid to start running lightning deals, a little bit earlier than you might normally, because that's going to get you some really good rank and keyword rank earlier on than probably your competitors are thinking about.
Yes. And to see if you're eligible for lightning deals, you can go underneath your advertising menu in Seller Central and you can go to like Prime exclusive deals. And I believe there is a lightning, I
There's
think it's
lightning
Prime.
and yeah, lightning and 7-day deals is the other one that they just ran out.
Yeah, but I think that they recently changed the menu option to
Yep,
say
it's
like Prime
advertising and then
exclusive.
deals. It just says
Oh,
deals is the
okay,
menu.
cool.
Yep,
Yeah. And then you'll see the different types of deals that your products are
yep,
potentially open for.
yep.
And so you want to start looking at those windows now because you will see some of your products will be eligible in December or on Black Friday for certain deals. So you want to sign up for that now and you'll have a short window to accept that deal from Amazon.
Yeah, I got super lucky and I have a 7-day deal that's running on Black Friday week. So I'm pretty excited about that one.
What? I got to go in and check mine because that would be
Yeah,
awesome.
check it ASAP because what people don't realize is there's only so many
Check
slots
it right now.
available. So if you don't go in and check it, then other people are going to
Yeah.
snag those. It's first come, first serve. They don't really give. I mean, they do have preference for like if you have account managers and things like that. Sometimes people will slide in, but generally if you get in early, that you have a much better chance of getting featured on some of those lightning deals. So make sure you do that. All right, the next one is build an email list and then send them non-salesy copy. It's kind of similar to that postcard. If you have an email list, just like, hey, happy holidays, make it like a newsletter form. And maybe at the end be like, hey, and by the way, if you want to check out, we've got this new product for the holidays this year, like it does this, this, and this. Click here if you want to check it out. In other words, like make it 90% content, 10% sales. Like really, really try to make it a value to that person. Another great thing is you can do top 10 lists to emails, as an email as well. It doesn't have to be a blog post. You can send your own top 10 list. Like, hey, here's like our top 10 list. Here's the, and just, we do this and we even feature other people's products because if it's, something that, say we're doing a top 10 list for, musicians or something like that, feature other people's, maybe you sell guitars, feature a guitar pick or, like stuff that complements your products. Make it non-salesy and then people are much more likely to click through and convert.
I just checked and one of my products is eligible for a lightning deal during Black Friday week and Cyber Monday week.
Booyah.
Yes.
Yes.
Love
Love
it.
it.
Check it.
All right. So we said top 10, but we came up with 11. So this is going to be the bonus tip, which if you caught our episode on press releases with Norm, you'll kind of have an idea of how these work. If not, go back and listen to it. But send out press releases. Reporters are really hungry for holiday stories. If you can do a press release that features one of your customers that talks about how it, if you have, maybe you have a health product, like how it changed their lives, or some kind of testimonial, or like create some kind of story around it, craft it in a way, once again, that's non-salesy and fun to read, and you'll probably get better results. You could also do like, maybe do your, it was the night before Christmas, take like a classic Christmas tale and like rewrite it and like for your brand, or, come up with something really creative like that and then send it out. And hopefully reporters might pick it up. If you want to have a better chance, then hiring a company like Norms might be the way to go. But there's also lots of press release services, and what is it, Haro, Amy, isn't that help a
Yeah,
reporter out?
help a reporter out.
Yeah,
Yep.
like, so there's lots of resources where you can kind of reach out to people, and if you have a cool story, they will, they might feature it. And if you get into a major publication with your holiday product, like, you could stock out in October, like I said, which once again, might not be the worst thing in the world. I would love to stock out. If our product that sells like a gajillion stocked out right now, we'd scramble, but we'd be stoked because we all of a sudden now be able to go back to our supplier, reorder a ton more and get them into stock ASAP. So if you look at the math, if you have to send stuff by air at a really expensive price point last minute, if the numbers work out, why not? So just something to think about on the press release side. Just get that little extra boost that might push you over the edge in terms of traction.
Yes.
All right, I felt like I talked a lot today, Amy.
Well, I think all of those things were really great tips. It's a lot of information. We totally get it.
Yep.
Pick some of those tips just for you to focus on, and just to round them up again, optimize your listing, make sure you spin up your PPC campaigns now, run mini launches for all of your top products, use influencers, top 10 lists, send holiday greetings to your best customers. Bundle, find some cool ways to sell your product in a new way during the holidays. And don't forget to not run out of stock by using Merchant Fulfilled. Look at last year's data to gauge stock and demand. Make sure that you get some data so that you don't run out of stock. Take advantage of deals underneath the advertising menu in Seller Central. And make sure you do some Christmassy greetings, and don't forget about press releases, because those are great.
I love the rundown. Thank you, Amy. That gives everybody a reminder of what we covered. Now, something else that you guys want to think about is, like Amy said, this is a lot of information. If you need to, just pick a couple of these things. What you don't want to do is just be like, oh my God, this is overwhelming, and throw your hands up and go watch Netflix. You don't want to do that. You want to really dig in here and pick a few things, even if it's not all of these things. Pick some some things to work on, because if you what you need to look at is time invested, output to input. You're in Q4, you're doing minimum output compared to what you're getting back. You're getting so much back if you're doing doing it right, that your time is going to be rewarded. So this is when you guys really want to buckle down.
And think about, really, like, something that might be kind of fun to do is look at some of your competitors that did really well last year and go and stalk them a little bit. Go out on their Facebook pages, see what kind of, information that they put out, scroll through their feed, see what stuff they were doing in October.
Subscribe to their email list.
Yes. See what kind of emails they're sending out, all that kind of stuff. And then pick some of your favorite brands that, and go back into your old emails, and those deals that you took advantage of, what did the sales copy say in that email that you opened and were like, oh man, that's awesome. And how can you replicate that with your own customers?
Just don't stalk my brand or my products or Amy's, or you cannot stalk either one of us. What we do is secret. No, we tell you everything we do.
Yes, we're an open book, but definitely pick some of your favorite brands, and, even learn from the top brands that are out there. Think about what brands like Coca-Cola do at Christmas, and don't be afraid to dabble a little bit, have some fun, and have some aspects of your own brand that are really shining during the holiday time, and think about new ways to connect with your customers. And, look at another brand and see what they're doing, and see how you can apply some of those really awesome techniques in your own brand.
Yep. All right, guys, that's it. This was fun. We have to do more top 5, top 10 type episodes, Amy. I think this is providing like maximum value in a very short amount of time. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this. Let us know, via social media, or on the podcast itself. When you leave a review, let us know, what you're liking, what you're not liking. Once again, and we really, really appreciate you guys if you subscribe, rate, and review. We ask you because if we don't, you won't do it. So thank you so much in advance for doing that. The other thing is, I want to mention, if you guys aren't part of Amy's Facebook group or my Facebook group, please join up. We give you guys, we answer tons of questions. We give you guys free advice. We kind of post, tips. We do other live videos. We do all kinds of stuff. So Amy's is Amazing at Home. Mine is Amazon FBA Titans. There's another group that has stolen the name, but just look for my ugly mug on the header of the group, and you will know that is the right place. And so we hope you guys join that, join those groups, and so we can interact with you guys a little bit more, help you along your journey. And as usual, we record this Tuesday, 1 p.m. Pacific time, sellerseo.com/SRT for the link. And we hope you guys join us live. We always do the little bonus round after when we stop recording, so it doesn't go to the podcast. You can only get it if you attend live. Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Thanks for tuning in. Join us every Tuesday at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time for live Q&A and bonus content after the recording at sellerroundtable.com. Sponsored by the ultimate software tool for Amazon sales and growth, sellerseo.com and amazingathome.com.